everyone. My name is Dawn Johnson and I am the violist in the String Queens. Today I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite practice routines with all of you. I hope you find them helpful and useful for your own practice journey. And remember, practice is a process. Always give yourself some grace and be patient with yourself along the way. Let's get started. Step number 1, create a practice plan. Having a practice plan puts you on the path to achieving your goals in a way that is organized, focused, and measured. While the specifics of my practice plan are always changing, the outline and the order does not. My practice consistently begins with stretching, followed by playing a scale, followed by playing a series of arpeggios, then an etude, and lastly, playing through any challenging sections of any repertoire that I'm currently working on. And of course, each part of my practice is accompanied by a metronome, even the stretching. If you are able to record your practice as well, from start to finish, you'll be on an even better track to achieving your practice goals sooner. Step number 2, find a practice space. Always find a quiet location where you can practice that is free of distractions and provides you with ample personal space. A living room, a bedroom, a basement usually work well for at-home practice. If you can, try not to practice in a bathroom because the acoustics usually over-amplify your sound, and this can sometimes lead to a false impression of what you really sound like. Step number 3, put your plan into practice. This is the execution phase of your practice plan. I will model this using my personal practice plan as an example. To start, set your metronome to 60 beats per minute, or BPM. Close your eyes and practice breathing deeply to the sound of the metronome. Depending on the day, I usually inhale for 4 beats and exhale for 4 beats. I repeat this at least 3 to 5 times or as many times as I need to in order to feel as centered and relaxed as possible prior to playing my instrument. Let's practice this a few times now. Here we go. Inhale. With the metronome still going and while still practicing deep breathing, next I engage in stretching my neck, chest, shoulders, arms, and fingers. In general, during this part of my practice, I am focused on being as calm, open, and relaxed as possible. In the interest of time, I will model a shortened version of my usual stretching routine now. So I start with my neck, just making sure that I stretch it all the way out to my right, and then stretching it all the way out to my left. Then I also incorporate a few shoulder rolls, so making sure that I'm stretching my shoulders out, going to the back, and also rotating them around again to the front. I also like to open up my chest by just pulling both of my arms back as far as I possibly can. Of course, I'm breathing through this entire exercise and then bringing them back together. Lastly, when I stretch my arms, I often like to stretch my right arm out, pull it back as far as I can. I'm usually doing this against a wall, just to open up my chest and get that good stretch all throughout my arm. And then I repeat the same exercise again with my left arm, opening up all the way, stretching it as far back as I can, and then bringing it back center. Lastly, I'll stretch my fingers by just opening and closing my hand a couple of times and making sure that I repeat the same action with both hands, so my right and my left hand. All right, so by now our mind and our muscles should feel slightly warmed up, and now you should feel ready to pick up and play your instrument in the most relaxed, tension-free way possible. So let's get started with the eating our vegetables part of our practice, the fundamentals. For the purpose of this video, I am going to play a 2-octave C major scale, followed by a series of arpeggios in C, including major, minor, diminished, and so forth. Again, my metronome will remain on 60 beats per minute, and some focus points during this part of my practice are 1, creating a sound that is clear and free from tension. 2, making sure that my left hand is relaxed, keeping my fingers as close to the string as possible, and being sure not to grip with my thumb. Number 3, listening to my intonation and making sure that each note is played in tune as the scale in arpeggios ascend and descend. Playing to a drone backing track in C is helpful to use here as well. Here we go. All right, so after playing a scale and arpeggios, I transition into an etude study. Again, making sure that I'm establishing my technical foundation before beginning to practice any repertoire. A great etude book for violists that was actually originally written for violinists is Kreutzer's 42 Studies. Here's a short excerpt from the second etude in this series that I'll play at 60 beats per minute. Now that I'm fully warmed up, I am ready to dive into practicing the most challenging sections in my repertoire. My teacher used to call these the killer sections. Before I model how to practice killer sections, there are 3 helpful hints that I would like to share with you. Number 1, play through them as slowly as possible to start. Step number 2, play through them using a variety of different rhythms that break them down into smaller sections. And step number 3, if possible, play through them backwards. I'll demonstrate a familiar killer section for violists from the second movement of Telemann's Viola Concerto in G major. Here we go. I'm going to practice this killer section using the 3 helpful hints that I just mentioned. The first one, play the killer section slowly. And so forth. The second one, play the killer section in rhythms. All right, and lastly, do your best to play through the killer section backwards. And so forth. Hopefully, you'll find this practice routine helpful as you work towards achieving your performance goals. From start to finish, you should be able to complete this process within an hour of time. And remember to always take breaks as you need them and always be kind to yourself along the way. For more practice pointers, please feel free to visit our website at www.thestringqueens.com.